Hi, I wanted to take a few minutes and show you how easy and simple it can be to apply a French tip manicure from the comfort of your home, car, wherever you're at. I have found a French tip has a little bit of a learning curve. It's a little more complicated than maybe the more traditional sets, but hopefully this can help you out. So please feel free to reach out if you have any questions or issues, or I'd love to meet up with you if you would like some help that way. So I'm gonna try and turn this down and let's see what happens. All right, so I've already lined up the strips, kind of figured out which ones I wanted here. And so a French tip set has 16 strips of the white. Oops. And then like a beige or a clear overlay that you'll put on after. And I always try and use the do my thumbs last, even for the first layer. So I peel off the clear. I've already separated the strips. I'm using the silver tab to pull that off. And then this is different than the other sets that it doesn't, that clear or that silver doesn't pull off. And then it depends on how meticulous you are as far as getting the white lined up perfectly. So I might have to end up fast forwarding this, or you can fast forward because if it's going to take longer. But anyways, so I'm going to put that first one down and then use my thumbnail to wrap it underneath so I can have better coverage and pinch to pull that off. And use that to wrap down any extras there. Now I have all this white end that's left over, and you could put it back. I got a little hair on there. You could just crumple up, forget it. You could put it back on the white, because what I'm gonna try, and maybe this will work, maybe it won't, is to take the rest of that white edge and put it in my craft punch. And when I think I've got it right, and by doing that, I've got another curve. So trying this can help me even get another manicure out of that. So I probably should have made the white and on the other one a little bit. Yeah. So I think I'm gonna go back and maybe I can get one more punch out of that. So again, I'm wrapping it and trying not to pull that. So this may not be too short or too long enough, but worth a shot here. I kind of knew that going in. So gonna shove that in. Yeah, this will be hard too. I'll come back to that one later, but maybe I'll try and do the next one. So peel off the clear, use the silver tab to pull off the white strip, and now I'm gonna try and yep. And use your thumbnail to wrap it underneath the edge of your nail. Put it back on the cardboard backing. Make sure you're putting it on the glossy side or it won't remove. So French manicures are buy one, get one free for $14. And by using, oops, I'm gonna slide it a little bit more. This is a 5/8 craft punch. Oop. So now I can get at least 2 manicures out of this for an even better value. Oop. So I'm trying to look, and I found if I spend time really trying not to rush through, it'll appeal my meticulous nature of wanting them to be exactly the same. So this is a 5/8 inch craft punch that I received, just got at like the craft store. So I'm hoping this will work. I had a little bit that was covered off, so I just used that. And again, so by pushing it underneath, hopefully that won't be too imperfect. And if it does, so well, we'll just change it up. Put a glitter overlay or something on it. Moving right along, peel the clear. Oh, peel this off. Place the white tip on my nail, trying to get the same length of tip. Pinch, don't pull. Wrap around the edges. Kind of flatten that out. Make sure you put it back on the glossy side. So it's gonna take a little bit longer here, but you wouldn't have to reuse this strip. They give you 2 ends. So I just thought this would be fun. If you don't want to repunch it, you could maybe still put the white back on the backing and save them when you want to use white in like a mixed manicure or underneath a glitter lay or something like that. So again, I'm trying to get it even on both sides, but also not caring too much. Yeah, that's not going to peel back up. If your nails were bare, you could pick it back up. I use a nail strengthener on mine, so I'm not always able to reposition. I'm going to try one more punch on this one because those little cracks will bother me. It's another reason I like to resave the edges, because in the leftovers for any kind of strip, because then I can touch up any manicure that maybe the next day I didn't get as good of coverage as I would like. So that's another thing that's helped me with Color Street is letting some of my need for perfectionism go, that I will see things up close that are imperfect or not to my high standards, and I notice nobody else really will see, and that's okay. I don't know why I keep trying to pick those up. And if you don't use a craft punch, you could use scissors. I tried this once, but found that they weren't very sharp and I didn't have as good of luck. So I actually bought that craft punch because you can take any strip at all and do that craft punch. I actually did Flora Good Time with Berlin It to Win It. I used the gray to give that gray French tip look. So I'm actually going to try and use this one to go back to that pinky and get another layer to make the tips a little bit more even. So I think this is a fun way. Also, you could get together with your girlfriends and you can, you know, use both sets at the same time and just use the white that way. So all right, funny how a little bit more like that. Okay. So I would suggest trying to start smaller with the tips, the length of that, because you could always go back and add more where you can't always pick stuff up. All right, so that is part one of the two-step process to apply a Color Street French manicure. I'm gonna leave my thumbs blank because you notice I was using them to work through that way. So City of Love has a beige overlay. Meet Me in Paris has a clear. I've also done like with a clear glitter dip, so or to lay over top because you want something that's going to make this smooth or to cover up that tip there. So again, I'm going to save one strip aside, and I tend to go a little bit smaller with the clear overlay. So I separate the nails. I peel the clear, or in this case beige, I'll probably keep saying clear. And a quick pull to remove the silver tab. I'm using what's called an anchor method. I'm using the paper backing on the glossy side because my fingerprints will show up if I touch it. So by using that, there's all kinds of hairs too. So now I'm going to cut. I'm going to put this back. I kind of feel like a surgeon. So again, this is just because of my meticulous little imperfections bother me. If you're not going to notice it, just slap it on and go from there. But anything with the clear, I try to use that backing as a guide to avoid touching the underside. If you can't, like sometimes I even like mark that up with, put a marker on the side, because if you don't put it on the glossy side, it's done. You're not gonna be able to get it back off. All right, I think that looks pretty good. So I'm going to continue. I'll show you one more. So separate the strip, peel off the clear, peel off the strip. I place it back on the paper backing. A quick pull helps me give a clear, better edge there. I'm gonna jump over to my pinky. I wanna get it close to my cuticle, but not on. And you are able to stretch if it doesn't quite fit. I'm gonna just leave that right on the backing. Use my scissors to cut the other end. Wrapping the nails underneath the nail strip. And line that up. So I hope that helped you. So I've got some of the fingers are all finished. I hope this helps you learn how to apply a Color Street French manicure and avoid the extra money at the salon to get those fancy, pretty fresh tips, French tips. So thanks for tuning in. Have a great day.